Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. My name's Greg Bauer. I'm Associate Dean here at the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. This is the breakout room for the Bachelor of Commerce that we're targeting for international students. So we'll just give a couple of minutes here, and we have a lot of current students here to answer questions. I'll be giving a brief presentation, and then we'll be talking about different aspects of the Bachelor of Commerce program at Lang, how successful we've been, and why it might be of interest to you. So I think we'll get going. You see a fair number of students here. So at Lang, and you see our main building there in the background. That's one of the 4 buildings we have on campus here. At Lang, we develop business leaders who use business as a force for good. And that is sort of at the heart of everything we do here. It's a very modern, very applied education here. This is not a lot of theory, as we'll see as we go throughout this presentation. And I want to start by pointing out that Lang is AACSB accredited. So if you are interested in doing a Bachelor of Commerce or a Bachelor of Management or something like that, Bachelor of Business, you want to make sure that the school you attend is accredited by the AACSB. There's many, many thousands of schools out there that have Bachelor of Business or Bachelor of Commerce programs, but only 6% of those programs are actually accredited by the AACSB internationally. And that is a mark of distinction. It's a mark of quality control. So you want to be sure that your school does have that. So as I mentioned, I'm Dr. Greg Bauer, Associate Dean, Strategic Partnerships. I'm a professor of finance. I got my PhD at the Wharton School, the University of Pennsylvania. It's the largest business school in the world. I'm the former Associate Dean and the Michael J. Barclay Professor at the Simon Business School from Rochester, New York. And I'm also a former Senior Research Director at the Bank of Canada, which is our central bank. And my CV is not too different from a lot of the CVs of other faculty here in the sense that I have industry experience. This business school is different because many of the faculty here have industry experience. They're not just academics. I've got a lot of practice teaching international students in Canada. I taught in the USA for a number of years. I taught in Switzerland. I've taught in India. I've been to India 6 times actually to teach students and recruit there. I've taught in Singapore and I've taught in China. So I've taught business courses all over the world. I'd like to introduce my colleague now, Dr. John Walsh, who can provide his introduction. He's also on the call.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bauer. My name is John Walsh. I also am an Associate Dean Academic and Professor of Management in the Lang School. Great opportunity to talk with people interested in our school and the programs we offer, and I look forward to sharing my impressions and knowledge of the programs with you. I also have served as a former dean and a visiting professor in different countries, and for over 20 years I've taught industry executives, undergraduates and graduates in every single continent except Antarctica. And when they open a business school, I'll teach there too. Wonderful to see you and to be part of this call. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, John. So today we are going to talk about our Bachelor of Commerce program. It's a 4-year honors degree, or 5 years if you are doing co-op. And I want to start by stressing the co-op, because unlike a lot of other schools, we have co-op available in every major here. So you can apply directly into co-op now. So when you're filling out your application to come here to do a Bachelor of Commerce degree, be sure to indicate that you would like to do co-op. I strongly stress the co-op because that gives you a lot of industry experience while you're getting your education. I myself am a co-op student and I loved my times on my co-op programs, the stages that I did. Each semester is 12 weeks long. There's 5 to 10 electives, depending upon your major, and we focus on collaborative applied learning here. This is not a dog-eat-dog business school. This is a business school where when you're sitting in class, the person next to you is not a competitor. They are somebody you're going to learn a lot from. They're going to be your lifelong friend. They're going to be supporting you through your career search, supporting you through your education. This business school is different from other business schools. Many other business schools like to tell you how tough they are, how incredibly difficult they are, et cetera, and it's a very sort of brutal existence. It is not like that here. This place is very different. We have a bunch of majors that you can do. On the left-hand side, we have traditional area majors. In other words, areas that are common to all businesses: accounting, economics, finance, general management, which includes things like human resources, and marketing. So those are the sort of basic skills that go across all businesses. On the right-hand side, we have some of our programs that tend to focus on one or more industries. And although you do all the same courses that you would do on the programs on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you tend to do more industry-specific courses. So we have a very good program in real estate. We have students there who will be doing all the general Bachelor of Commerce courses, but then they will be doing a number of courses related to the real estate industry. We have sports and event management, one of the very few in North America to offer that. So if you're interested in management of sports or events, this is a unique program here. We have food and agricultural business. Let me tell you, the food industry, the agricultural industry is changing extremely quickly, extremely quickly. We have employers knocking on the door to get our graduates from this. We have government economics and management, which is, of interest to those of you who would like to do public policy or government. And we also have our hospitality and tourism management school within our school here. This is a very old, very well-established program with alums all over the world, and students find incredible jobs all over the world in that. So we have a variety of majors available here, and I want to stress that you do, of course, have the option to do courses across the different fields. So for example, you might want to have finance as your major, but I would strongly recommend, as a finance professor now, I would strongly recommend to any finance student to also have a number of marketing courses under your belt. Why? Because if you're working for large banks, they have to market to a large number of individuals, and understanding the latest and greatest techniques in marketing is incredibly valuable there. Same thing if you want to do a real estate degree. You should really understand finance, and you need to understand accounting, et cetera, et cetera. So these things, yes, we have all of these different majors that we offer, but you can do courses in a wide variety of programs or areas here, and we strongly encourage that. And employers, by the way, really do like that. The way we describe our program is by this new thing we call our Future You Advantage. And the Future You Advantage is a way of telling students all the different things that we do for them in the program. And it's a way of bringing in things from the inside that we do and combining it with things from the outside. So we've got the 3 pillars that I'll talk about. We've got the future-focused expertise, in other words, what you learn in the classroom. We've got the co-op and career services that help you find the job that you would like. And we've got the global leadership development opportunities. And the Lang Future You Advantage is based on these 3 pillars. By the way, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll be glad to pivot to them in just a few minutes. So the first pillar is the expertise. This is what you learn in the classroom here. And employers now are demanding more from graduates. They want graduates who are very well-rounded coming out of Bachelor of Commerce programs. So they say they want the graduates to be analytical, to understand all the latest techniques, the computer applications, the data applications, etc. They want the graduates to be collaborative. You've got to be able to work in teams. And goodness knows, at this school, you do an awful lot of teamwork. You're working in teams all the time. And they want those graduates to be ethical. They don't want to hire graduates that they will have to worry about doing things that are not ethical. And we do teach ethics here. As I mentioned, we do have these industry-focused and specialized majors. We do provide an emphasis on analytics, sustainability, leadership. And once again, it's a supportive environment. It's a different environment from other business schools. You do a lot of team-based learning. You learn how to work in a team here. And when we talk to employers and they come in and they're begging to hire our graduates, I'll say that again. Employers are lining up, knocking on our door to hire our graduates because they know our graduates can work in a team. They know that our graduates will not be a problem employee. They will have the skills and they will be able to work in a team. And we do this we teach this in a lot of different ways. And we have a lot of, for example, case competitions that we tell you how to handle the real world. So here is an example of some of the courses you would do if you're an accounting major in the first year. Fairly standard courses, but the way they're taught is different because it's taught in a team environment. It's taught in a supportive environment, and that is there. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all the different majors that are on there. It's obvious. You can find that out online if you're interested in what particular courses are done in which particular major. The faculty, here's just one example of the great faculty we have here. Dr. Gradojevitz, who is a fellow faculty member in the finance area. You can look where he's worked. He's worked at the University of British Columbia in Canada. He's also worked at the Bank of Canada and the Federal Reserve down in the United States. So he's typical in the sense that he has industry experience as well, and he can bring those real world applications into the classroom to teach students. He works as a consultant to the AI, financial, and mining industries. So industry is seeking his expertise as well. He is also taught all over the world, and he's a senior fellow at the Readiness Center in Italy, which is quite prestigious. A couple of the students that are on the call today, Simone and Chirandeep, actually just competed in a case competition, the Maple Leafs Sports Entertainment, I believe it's called, case competition. I'll have you tell that. I'll have them tell you all about that case competition a little bit later in the call. But we run many, many competitions here of various kinds throughout. What does this result in? Well, it results in success. So here's one of our graduates from the United States, Malcolm. He majored in accounting. He was quite involved with extracurricular activities, which we always stress here. It's a good thing to be involved in. And he was the president of the Accounting Students Association, and he's working for Ernst & Young in Toronto on environmental focused projects. So good jobs await you at the end of this program. So the second pillar of our Future You is the career-ready experiences. And we have the Business Career Development Center, which is exclusive to Lang Commerce students. So no other students on campus get to use the services from the Business Career Development Center. They bring in industry people, they bring in alums, they present to the students, they help the students, as you can see there in the picture, go through their CV, go through their cover page, go through their elevator pitch, all those things that are necessary now to find a good job, and they are there to support you, but they're only available for Lang Commerce students. We also have introduced what we call career action teams, where you're working with fellow students to support each other in your career search. And 96% of our graduates are getting jobs within 2 years, which is quite high. Some of them are going on to grad school in other places. The Business Career Development Center, they have career fairs here at Lang. You can see a couple of pictures from our latest one here. They bring in employers right on campus. And the employers, I was at the last one, which was about 3 weeks ago. The employers are really looking for students from all of our programs. And actually, they come in with a long list of desires and they can't hire enough of our students. So our students are right on campus here. They're going to meet the employers, talk to them. They'll then have probably a virtual interview and then be invited down for a regular interview at the place of employment. And the students here are finding jobs. As I mentioned, the employers really are seeking out our students here. Here's a great example of one of our success stories. So Toygar is an international student from Turkey. And for some reason, he loves Porsche, the German automobile company. He loves Porsche cars, which, as you probably know, are quite expensive, but he grew up loving them. And he always wanted to work at Porsche. So he came into our program and did extremely well. And guess where he's working now? He's working at Porsche in Canada as a sales coordinator. So driving around a Porsche himself. So he really did appreciate his Lang experience. It allowed him to live his lifelong dream of being able to work at Porsche. If you would like to start your own business, we also support this. So we have the John F. Wood Center for Business and Student Enterprise. It provides funding, mentoring, and support for students to actually start their own business and develop it over time. So if you are an entrepreneur or you have entrepreneurial ideas, the John F. Wood Center, which is right in our building here, allows you to do that. And they help you from the very basic, I just have a very vague idea about my business, all the way up to various business developments. And I'll tell you too, a lot of students go through this even if they don't want to do their own business necessarily, because a lot of companies now are looking for what are called intrapreneurs. These are people with entrepreneurial spirit, but you just happen to be working for a large corporation, but you're innovating from inside that corporation. And that's going really well. We've got 150 startups launched out of the Wood Center. We're starting new businesses all the time. One example here is Lana, who came from Egypt. She launched her own startup through the John F. Wood Center. It's called TUF Candy. It actually makes cutlery out of candy. So when you finished eating your meal, you can actually eat your cutlery as a dessert. She's currently on a co-op term working in sustainability, plus she's managing her own business on the side. So it's possible to do that. The third and final pillar of our future you is being a global leader. And that encompasses a variety of things. So first of all, you should recognize that the Lang School of Business and Economics is ranked number 5 in the world, not just in Canada, but in the world for sustainability. So we are recognized as having international expertise in this. And as you know, many businesses now are looking for environmental, sustainable, good governance type ideas, and they're implementing these things all the time. They want employees who are conversant with these things, who understand these ideas, who can put these ideas into practical applications in their business. So we've got over 100 student groups here that you can gain leadership skills in. It's possible to be a leader in some group on campus and help fill out that CV. We have study abroad programs. I realize that I'm talking mostly to international students now, but if you did want to come here and then go on to another different country, we have other study abroad programs in various countries around the world. So maybe you want to go to Europe for 4 months while you're actually studying at the Lang School. We have our sustainability conference and case competitions that are student run. We have many, many case competitions that are run through the school here. Plus, we support students for going to external competitions that are run at other different schools. So you will get plenty of practice working on a team, solving practical business problems through cases. Sometimes the case is just done in your own classroom. Sometimes it's a school-wide case, and sometimes it's actually an international case competition. So for example, our real estate students run an international real estate case each year, and you get student teams coming over from Europe, from the US, etc., to actually compete in this competition for real estate. So it's quite good. We also have study abroad. So we can see here one of our student classes on the left-hand side there with the faculty member doing actual study abroad program, I believe down somewhere in the Caribbean, if I remember correctly. And yet another success story, if we look at Tara Lalani, how she did. She was a marketing co-op student. And once again, that co-op, I'm going to stress, incredibly valuable here. She completed all 3 of her co-op terms at different areas within the Royal Bank of Canada. For those of you unfamiliar with Canada, the Royal Bank of Canada is actually our largest bank here, and it's actually fairly large by a global standard as well. So she was working at head office in Toronto, and Toronto is about a half-hour train ride away. It's just down the road from here. She landed a job, a permanent job at the Royal Bank before graduating, and she currently leads internal marketing and communication now for tech and innovation adoption. So she learned the latest techniques here, the latest analytical techniques. You combine that with co-op, you combine that with the ability to work in a team and lead a team, and that's an incredibly potent combination. Now, as international students, I know you have many questions about coming to Canada or coming to do an international program. So I just want to mention these briefly. There's going to be more information available in the main room later on, and there's going to be more information available online. By the way, I know my colleague Sarah has shared the international student brochure that we prepared in the chat, so you can look at it there. And you can also see our international student page, which talks about these things as well. So we have international student advisors from the student experience area. So these are there from the University of Guelph to help answer questions that you may have about immigration, moving to Canada, how to live here, et cetera, et cetera. We have a very extensive orientation program called START. It's an orientation program for international students. It's going to help you arrive in Canada, help you settle down in Canada, help you into your new home before the orientation week begins at the beginning of September. I know you're going to be worried about a place to live. Well, residence is guaranteed on campus for all international undergraduate students. So if you are an international undergraduate student, you are guaranteed a spot in one of our 9 residences that we have on campus. These residence rooms are quite nice, and we are known as Canada's Food University because of, our food programs, our agricultural programs, but that also means that we have incredibly good food on campus. And then Guelph is also large enough, we have a wide variety of dining options off of campus as well. We also have a program we call Unibuddy. This allows you to chat one-on-one with a current international student. So if you really want to say, oh, okay, what's really going on there, et cetera, we can link you up with Unibuddy, with somebody hopefully from where it is you're from, to talk about things and how they found the program. Now, we're going to switch, and I will stop talking, and we'll have a faculty and student panel. So it would be good if we could have the faculty and student who are on the call actually introduce themselves. So Sarah, I can't see everybody, so if you want to introduce the people one-on-one and have them introduce themselves, please.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dean Bauer. Again, that was a really insightful presentation on what Lang has to offer, what Lang is all about, and what University of Guelph has to offer as well. I'm one of the students on the panel here. My name is Simone Yaniello, and I'm originally from Italy. I'm a fifth-year food and agricultural business student, so the food and agricultural business program that we were talking about earlier. And I'm getting a minor in entrepreneurship because I've always been really interested in that side of things as well. I want to start my own business, and Lang allows you to do that if you want to. And I'm a Coop student, so I'm in my fifth year currently, doing my last semester. And yeah, I have a job lined up for after I graduate, thanks to Coop. And my favorite thing about Lang, it has to be the people and the sense of community. One of the main things that I was worried about coming here as an international student was, not finding my place within, the new community that I was going to join. But I gotta say that Lang really helps you with that. And the sense of belonging that you get from being part of Lang is something that helps me to this day.
My name is Arlene. I'm a third-year marketing student from Nigeria. I'm a co-op student as well. I have to agree with Simone. One of my favorite things about Lang is how collaborative in nature it is, as Dean Bauer said in his presentation. You'll find that everybody is willing to help you, from the staff to the faculty and your students, and it's just a very great place to start your higher education journey.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Chirandeep and I'm an international student from India. I'm currently in my second year in the Sports and Event Management Co-op program. And one thing which I really love about Lang is same as what Simone and Arlene said, is the people here. The people here literally are your friends, not competitors. I can go to any person in my class, talk to them and help understand a topic. Other than that, something which I really like about Lang is the opportunities it offers us, whether it's starting your own business, whether it's trying to develop yourself into a better person, develop your interpersonal skills, develop your skills which would be useful in your career. Lang has everything you need for a successful career.
Thank you. And Professor Dalalwal, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Greg. So my name is Sonia Dalalwal, and when I was asked to be a part of this panel, I was really thrilled, and we were asked to share our favorite thing about Lang. So I forgot to ask how long we have, because there's too many things to share. I'll keep it short and follow everyone's lead. So I I'm a professor here, and I teach accounting and taxation. Taxation is typically not a favorite subject of students. They're typically intimidated by it at the beginning when they join, but at the end when they leave, they're intrigued. There's lots going on. So if there are questions related to the accounting major, I'm around. We can chat about that later. My favorite thing about Lang, and I'm really happy to see and hear from others that I'm not the only one saying this, is actually the collegial environment that exists here, also within the faculty. All of us here, all of the faculty member lead with kindness, which also ties into our Lang motto, which is business as a force of good. So that I think is one of my favorite things about Lang. It resonates with my personal philosophy as well. And the student body is no different. The students also are really helpful to each other. And so it's just a really, really nice environment to be in.
Great. Thank you very much. Arlene, could you tell us about the application process here, how you found it, how you managed to navigate it?
Of course. So I applied to the University of Guelph through the 105 application on the OUAC, which is how you would apply to Guelph if you're applying to multiple schools as well. I found it pretty straightforward, and compared to the other schools that I applied to, Guelph, anytime I had a question or a problem like with my application, like I always got a swift response for like a good enough like response time, and the people were always really helpful. I also found it really helpful having these information sessions because it just gave me a way to be connected to people as I was applying to help with any questions along the way. Because of COVID, I was not able to have one of the in-person information sessions. It got canceled, but the fact that Guelph actually had one of those, someone was coming to my country to speak to us, I found it very helpful, and Guelph was the only school that had that, and it just showed to me that like, okay, this school actually cares about helping the international students, because our application process is more tedious than other people. So having that support really made a difference. So I would say that the application process is fairly straightforward, and if you do need help, there's always help along the way.
Great, thank you. Simone, what was it like living on campus?
All right, that's a really good question. And I lived on campus actually for more than a year. I lived on campus for around 2 years. The first one was just as a student. And then I moved on into being a resident assistant, which is, you get your housing and you also have a job, which is a great thing for an international student. And Chirandeep could tell you more about this as well. But I really think that the main three things about living on campus were meeting people and making friends, because again, as an international student, as soon as you get to a new place, one of the main things that you're worried about is, am I going to find my place here? Am I going to be able to get to meet people? Am I going to be able to make friends? And just living on residence allows you to be connected with a lot of different peers of your same age, and really gives you a lot of help when it comes to meeting new people, because at the end of the day, in first year especially, everyone is on the same boat. Everyone is trying to make friends. Everyone is trying to get along with each other and find their own place within their university. So being on residence really makes that process smoother, I think. And then another thing, you don't have to cook when you live on residence, because you have a lot of different food places here and there. And I'm from Italy, and there's this place in the UC called Mom's Kitchen, which really reminds me of like my mom. So and her cooking, which is really good. And that's the one thing. At the University of Guelph, the food is absolutely amazing compared to other universities as well, which was a very big pro for me for coming here. And then another thing I talk about is study rooms. So when you get, once you get to know like people, whether it's in class or whether it's on residence, within residence, you have a lot of different study rooms that you can use. So instead of having to find a place, I don't know, go to the library, you can find a place where you're living just to meet up with your friends and then just do schoolwork, which I think it's great. And it really helps develop good teamwork that we were talking about earlier.
Great, thank you. Chirandeep, how did you find living on campus?
Okay, so Simone nearly spoke everything I wanted to speak, but so I would say like in my life, I made two really good decisions. One of them was to come to Lang, and secondly was to be an on-campus student. So when I came to Canada, initially I lived off campus for a month, and I realized, okay, I am getting involved in the community, but there's something I'm still missing. So I decided I should move on campus. I moved on campus a month later. And I think that was literally one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. It gave me so many opportunities to get involved. I was involved in several positions on campus in housing, like I was the social coordinator. It helped me become friends, even better friends to the classmates I have, because now I lived with them, and it helped me create a better bond with them. And like Simone said, food was a big reason I loved residence. And because of my love for residence, this is my second year I'm living on campus. I am a current residence assistant, So basically, I am like a dawn or a monitor for a tower on campus. And I would say like all the residences here are pretty unique. I lived in East for the first year. Then I'm currently living in South. And people usually ask me which residence is the best. I would say every residence is unique and it's what you make out of the experience. Like I love both the residences I lived in.
Great, great. Thank you all. I want to talk maybe a little bit about the co-op program. Let's ask about co-op. So I want to stress again, to apply to co-op when you're actually applying to Lang, you apply directly from your school, from high school. So you don't wait until you're here to go into co-op. And this is one of the few commerce programs where you start in co-op. Your co-op place is guaranteed even before you set foot on campus. At many other programs, they advertise having co-op, but you have to apply to get into co-op, and that may depend upon your grades in the first year. So that's very different. So I see we had a question in the chat to Arlene about your co-op experience.
Okay, so I've currently had 2 co-op work terms, and I'm actually currently looking for my 3rd one. I think the great thing about co-op and the amount of terms that you have is it lets you try on different hats. Like, so you can try out different positions at different companies and kind of figure out if that's the kind of place that you would like to work at post-graduation. So that's another benefit to having co-op. And the main difference I've found that it's made in me being a student is that the things that I've learned while being on my co-op, I've taken them back to class, and it's kind of changed the way I think and how I apply concepts in class, because now I have more of a real world understanding. And I think that's what gives co-op students an edge between other people. So that's a little bit about my experience. I've been able to have 2 different jobs. So I was a research assistant for my first one, and for my second one, I actually worked at the dean's office of the business school as a marketing and events student. So it was very nice working on campus and still being connected, because I didn't want to move to an entirely different place after only being here for like 1.5 years. So it was a great way for me to start off my co-op, and I look forward to the many more experiences to come. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Arlene. Simone, how was your co-op experience here?
I absolutely loved it. So I've done all my 4 co-ops here. I first worked for a marketing company, and then it was an 8-month co-op, which was really nice. It was nice to work there, learned a lot. But one of the things about co-op, as Arlene was mentioning, other than learning what you want to do, you also learn what you don't want to do. So after the first co-op, I realized that I wasn't very much into the analytical side of things. I just enjoyed the peer-to-peer kind of jobs a lot more. And that's why for my last 2 co-ops, I worked at Oracle NetSuite as a consultant. And that was the best experience of my life. That led me to create a lot of really meaningful connections, which I think is one of the perks of co-op, because maybe you're not gonna, like, the person that you meet, the people that you meet today are not gonna help you today, but in 5 years, who knows, right? It's always great to have that creation of connections, like constant, and whether it's through school or through your co-ops, you really have that at Lang. And I was lucky enough to have a team at Oracle NetSuite that really let me, give birth to my ideas in a sense. And that's why I was able to win Co-op Student of the Year for Bachelor of Commerce, Science, and Arts, which I wasn't expecting. It's like, as an international student, that was one of the proudest moments of my life. And I really hope that everyone on this call is going to get to really experience that, because over the last 5 years, I've done so much. Like, I sacrificed so much, but then, you do a lot of work, and you don't really realize how much work you put in until moments like this come up. And yeah, last thing, through my co-ops, I was able to land a full-time opportunity. So for the last semester and a half, I was not looking for a job because I already knew that I had one. So those are the big things. Connections, doing the experience that you need, getting recognition for it, and then finding a full-time job it becomes a lot easier.
Right. Thank you. Let's switch to the academic side for a little bit. Chirandeep, can you talk about some interesting courses you've taken here?
Oh, sure. So, as I'm in the sports and event management program, I took some really interesting courses throughout the 4 semester I've been here. First of them was a mental health related course. It's a UNIF 1200 course, which I would recommend to any first year student. If you come to the university, apply for a UNIF course. There's nothing better than a UNIF course in your first year. So the one I took was called Whose Role It Is Anyway. It's about mental health. It not only taught me what exactly mental health is meant, but also about the real process behind how the system works, what are the different circles around the mental health, what exactly each professional does. Before this, I had no idea what a psychiatrist does, what a psychologist does. I was all confused, but that course really helped me understand the real importance of mental health and how that should and can be implemented in our daily lives, in our programs, and we can help people around us. Another really interesting course which I took was, which I'm actually currently taking, is my event management course. So I really love that course because it's completely hands-on experience about events. Right now, we are working with the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays, for anybody who doesn't know, is a Toronto-based MLB team which plays baseball. So currently, they are expanding their fortress, the Rogers Center, into a better place, and they have 5 new stands coming up. So us as Lang students, we have the responsibility to come up with ideas. How can we promote and create activation so that more people come to those games? And it's really good because coming from being an international student, I never thought within 2 years of my life in Canada, I'll be talking to a representative from one of the biggest sports teams in Canada. Another really interesting course which I took was my sports and event tourism course. Even that course was completely hands-on experience. And for that course, we had a really interesting case studies for which we worked with the university's athletic department, and our responsibility was to come up with activations and plan out things of how can we improve the attendance of our football games. So these courses which give you hands-on experience, one of the best things I think we have in Lang, and I just named a few, but I believe there are many more.
Thank you. Professor Dalalwal, could you tell us about what you enjoyed teaching here at Lang?
Right. So, Greg, you had mentioned this before, and all of the faculty here at Lang basically have industry expertise. So when we come in the classroom, we're all bringing that along with the academic knowledge. So one of my favorite things to do, and while I'm teaching, is to make those connections for the students. So in my courses in taxation, what we do is, alongside studying the technical knowledge, and taxes ever changing with rates and rules and legislation, is that I try to connect the students with industry professional right in the course. So what I do is we create assignments that actually deal with the topic that we're doing in class, and we work with companies on live issues. So in our collaboration with them, we ask them, tell us a issue that you're facing, and you have access to all of these students who can help you with it. So a lot of the private companies who don't want to pay advisors heavy fees will opt this way, and it gives the students really excellent practical experience that they can link. So that's one of my favorite things to do. The students get very excited about that. They really like those connections that they're making, and they get to see that whatever they're learning in the classroom, especially when you're learning subjects like accounting and taxation, that they're not dry, and they're not only used just to pass an exam. It's actually relevant, and when they can see that they're helping people, and typically when we think of helping people, we think of like science courses, medical courses, or other things. We also create as part of creating a robust teaching environment, are other outside of classroom learning opportunities. For example, we run a tax clinic on campus, which is actually about to start in a couple of weeks, where we prepare tax returns for students. And so international students, for example, when you come in, don't know much about the tax rules in a new country. So, when there's a requirement to do such filings, we offer free tax clinics to international students, other students on campus, and we also open it out to the community. And these are led by our Lang students, and they, get the sense of helping out, getting involved with their community. We're also going out into other lower income residence areas. And in their condominium building, we're setting up a tax clinic led again by Lang students preparing tax returns. So, whatever field you're studying in, you can have an impact. And that's one of my favorite things about teaching here at Lang. The other thing is that I love the fact that it doesn't matter how big our class size is. Typically, I teach the third year and fourth year courses, that students really find all the faculty members approachable. They'll come talk to us, ask questions, whether it's, right at the end of class, something that they didn't understand, come visit us in our office hours. So I think that's also key for all of you to, keep in mind that you have that ability to go and talk to any of your faculty members here. And as I said at the beginning, the faculty members are really kind and open, and we actually love talking to students. It gets lonely in our offices if nobody comes to visit us. So keep that in mind, as you make your decisions. But yeah, I love teaching here at Lang.
Professor Walsh, could you comment briefly on the support we offer for international students? I mentioned some of the different programs here before, but there are many supports here that we do have for international students.
Yes, thanks. Absolutely not a problem. You have mentioned some of them. I'm always impressed by Professor Dalalwal's characterization of our faculty. We do like our students here. The faculty at Lang, very, very diverse. We come from lots and lots of different countries. It means that we understand what it means to be an international student. We've all been on that journey. In my job, specifically as the Associate Dean Academic, I have a lot of contact with students outside their classrooms, most particularly in terms of program counseling. Everybody arrives at the university with a plan and an idea of what's going to happen, and then life happens and all kinds of issues arise where I need advice and someone to connect with. So one of the main offices that reports to me is the Bachelor of Commerce Program Counseling Office. The staff there also have a lot of international experience. We have a lot of student support services available within the university as a whole, because we realize that from time to time, there might very well be personal matters that you wish to discuss. There might be some issues around health or not understanding what is needed to succeed. We have those offices and we do a good job because we understand what it means to be an international student. All programs also have academic advisors as well as program advisors. And one of the things that I like, if I can simply echo again, Professor Dalalwal, there is no better job than working with highly motivated people from different parts of the world who are also interested in business and building careers in business. Nearly every faculty member I know here has an open door policy. Greg has already mentioned very important areas of support like career services, because it's not only what you do here, it's where you're going to go. that is central to our purpose. So we have all the normal support services, we have program counseling, we have a lot of activities outside the classroom, we have an experienced and internationally oriented faculty, keen and interested to work in this area. Just been great to be part of this information session, and I really hope that you follow through with any questions at all. Thanks for that couple of minutes, Greg.
No problem. Thank you, sir. Once again, if any of the visiting students on the line would like to pose a question, please feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat. We'd be happy to answer it. We've only got a few minutes left. I wouldn't mind asking the students here about that third pillar of the Future You experience, the global leadership, which includes a lot of things like case competitions and clubs. So Arlene, could you start us off and talk about some of the clubs that you've been a part of while you've been here?
Of course. So one of the main clubs that I've been a part of since I started university is the GBSA, which is not a LANG club, but it's the Guelph Black Student Association Club. It was very important for me to be around people who were similar to me, not only in terms of the program, but culturally, especially moving to a new country. So when I joined that club, it gave me the confidence and the, I met people and I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. There are people that look like me. There are people who are similar to me. And then it made me feel welcome and it made me feel more like I had a place. And then in my third year, I was lucky enough to join the JDCC Business Case Competition Club. That's actually how I know Simone. We were on the same team. So we competed for the international business delegation. And we actually just competed in Ottawa in January. So it's a great way to put the skills that you learn in class and the knowledge you gain in class to use, solving real world problems and coming up with analyses that you present to industry professionals. And then I'm also on the TESA Club, which is the African Student Association Club. I'm on the exec team there, and it's just honestly a great way to meet people, make friends, and feel at home on campus.
You're incredibly busy. I didn't realize all these things. That's great. Chirandeep, could you please tell us about the clubs that you're part of here?
Yeah, sure. So some of the clubs I've been a part of is first of all, the LANG Student Association. I'm currently a brand ambassador for them. And in fact, Simone, who's on the call with us, was my shadowing director for my last shadow round. He is the director of corporate and I was shadowing corporate. So it's a club for all LANG students. We organize different events, and as my role in the LANG Student Association, we organize different events, and as a role of a BA, I help in coordinating all these things. It's a very fun role to be in with. It's the starting step, I would say, to get involved on campus. And it definitely has been one of my best experience. I got to know so many leaders, people who think like me, people who want to bring change through this club. Another club I am a part of is the Sikh Student Association. I'm currently the president of that club. And in fact, last year, I re-accredited the club because it got de-accredited after COVID. And it's a club for all Sikh students on campus. And it's a really fun experience to be around people who believe in the same religion as you and same beliefs. Another club I was a part of last year was the Hotel Association of Canada. It's a LANG sub-ASO, which means it's a club under LANG, and it gave me the opportunity to understand about hotels and how they work. We had some hotel tours, so it was a fun club to be a part of.
Excellent. Thank you. So thank you all very much. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. The contact information is right on there. Have a look at our material that we've provided there. That will answer some of the questions, and anything else you would like, please do feel free to reach out to the University of Guelph or to the Lang School of Business itself. So thank you very much for joining, and have a good day.